hater. See, I always do it. No, I'm not a hater. I'm a lover. I've never been a hater in my entire life. You're the ultimate hater. Take this. I don't want your hater stuff next to me.
Anything else, Sony? Any old IP? We heard from Kojima. Probably no Death Stranding.
Yeah, no Death Stranding.
Sewer Shark, because they published Sewer Shark on Sega CD.
Sewer Shark's that old FMV, right?
Yeah.
I love Sewer Shark.
That's an old IP that maybe they can bring some life back into.
I doubt it. New
Who
Sonic?
owns Sewer Shark?
It said Sony Pictures right in the front of it. It went Sony Pictures.
They can bring back that Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I would probably, you know, that woman's head exploded in the Devolver thing.
Muy buenas a todos.
All right, it sounds like
Un segundito que estoy con la boca llena.
PC gaming show. So we'll see you once it's over with coverage all day, along with Ubisoft and Sony later today. So thanks for joining us on E3 on Twitch. This is the PC Gaming Show.
Ole, justo a tiempo. Pues muy buenas a todos, enviciados y enviciadas. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estáis? Bienvenidos otro día más, a otro directillo más, cubriendo las conferencias del E3. Falta, nada, un minuto menos, 10 segundos para que empiece la PC Gaming Show. Esto está súper alto, tú. Y vamos a ver qué nos traen para este año la conferencia de PC. 7 de la tarde, 12 de junio de 2017. PC Gaming Show, patrocinado por Intel. Vamos a ver.
Well, it's not just a box or a station, right? Your PC doesn't exist without you. And you don't just use your PC, you're its keeper. You're responsible for it. PC gamers get their hands dirty.
¿Qué coño? Dice que tu PC no existiría sin ti, pues claro, tío. ¿Quién enchufaría los cables? Ya, publicidad de la barata. Muy buenas a todos, enviciados y enviciadas. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estáis hoy? No os he saludado ni nada. Hemos empezado justo a tiempo. La conferencia empezaba a las 7, hemos empezado a las 7 menos un minuto. El buen player no. Bueno, yo ya estoy equipado como siempre. Cafelito. Cigarrito. Me acabo de comer un cacho de pizza que sobró anoche para merendar, para no estar con hambre. Y os voy a enseñar el horario mientras tanto, ¿vale? Aunque sé que a la mayoría ya os lo he enseñado unas cuantas veces, pero bueno, por si alguno no lo conoce. Pues yo lo enseño rápidamente. Coño, es el presentador de siempre. Bueno, luego os lo pongo.
Woo, that's excellent. I'm your host, Sean Day9 Plot, and if you have never been to this show before, it's simple. We have a slew of incredible guests who are going to talk about all their upcoming games, one after the other. So, I'd like to warmly welcome all of you for coming out to the beautiful Ace Hotel Theater in downtown Los Angeles. Twitch chat, it's a pleasure to have you here. I know that you're currently being productive and constructive in chat right now.
Dice que espera que el chat de Twitch sea constructivo.
PCGamingShow.com, we have German, Spanish, Russian, Chinese. Feel free to head there or stay right here for English coverage. And without any further ado, let's find out what's happening this year at the PC Gaming Show.
Vamos a ver qué nos tienen preparados.
Gaming Show, live from the theater at Ace Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, California.
La voz del Darkest Dungeon, tú. Qué vozarrón tiene ese narrador.
PC Gaming. New announcements from Xbox. Jordan Weissman, the creator of MechWarrior, gives a first ever look at BattleTech's campaign. New footage for Middle-earth, Shadow of War. A new game from Play Entertainment.
Okay.
New gameplay from Total War, Warhammer 2. New announcements for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. An exciting reveal from Tripwire Interactive. And plenty more. Now, once again, Sean Plot.
Thank you so much, evil omnipotent voice in the sky.
Pero eso era un resumen de todos los juegos que van a enseñar. Qué poco, ¿no? Nah, seguro que tienen más porque XCOM no lo habían mencionado y mira, van a hablar de él. Vamos a ver.
supposed to be here. At last, a true battle. If only you knew the truth.
Espérame un segundo. Un segundito.
There were 3 resistance groups that we consider a legitimate threat to Advent. Together, they'd make one hell of a fighting force. Too bad they hate each other.
So, you do exist.
They were sent here to purge the lost.
You are safe here.
Good.
Advent Hobbit. I suppose we should begin then.
Now the real war begins.
¿Aún no ha terminado el tráiler? DLC de XCOM, ok.
With me to talk about XCOM 2 War of the Chosen is the creative director of XCOM 2 over at Firaxis, Jake Solomon. Pleasure to have you here today.
This is very exciting. We finally get to talk about this, so yes, I'm very pumped. Thank you for having us.
Well then tell us, what is War of the Chosen all about?
Well, so the goal with this game really was to make something massive. So we added a ton of new enemies, lots of new soldier classes, new environments, story, strategy systems, just tons of new toys for players to engage with.
And I understand that it's an expansion that's even larger than any of the ones you've done previously.
A ti te pasa como a mí, que no te has pasado el primero. Entonces no es plan hablar del DLC del segundo. Primero hay que jugar el primero, luego el segundo y luego el DLC. Uy, ha pasado una cámara por ahí. Nuevas mecánicas, nuevas estrategias, nuevos enemigos, nuevos escenarios, nuevas clases. Comentaba antes alguien por ahí que como jode como te matan a uno de tus mejores soldados.
Because over the course of a whole game, they're going to fight each of those chosen multiple times. And the chosen, just like the player, they get stronger over the course of the game. They learn new skills, new abilities. They even gain new procedural strengths that the player's going to have to contend with.
So in a sense, it's not like a normal enemy where you might see a chosen in one battle and a chosen in the next. It will be the same chosen again and again and again, getting new strengths.
That's right, that's right. And so you just, they always have something new up their sleeve because they're always learning sort of new tricks.
Well, you mentioned the personalities of the different chosen. Yeah. Walk me through who the chosen are and what these strengths and weaknesses might be.
Yeah, so for example, there's the assassin, and her personality is tied up in duty and honor. She feels very honor-bound to serve her masters, her creators, and she does that, of course, by hunting down XCOM and killing.
No es que me interese esto mucho especialmente. Están hablando del asesino, que es la nueva clase, tal. Yo creo que voy a aprovechar para saludaros a todos, para enseñaros los horarios, que todavía no lo he enseñado, lo que vamos a hacer hoy. Son ahora mismo, como os cuento, a las 7 de la tarde, hora España. Y esto no se puede hacer más grande, tío. Ay, mejor. Y estamos en la PC Gaming Show, ¿vale? Lunes 12, 7 de la tarde. Y hoy vamos a hacer esta conferencia de aquí. Vamos a hacer esta conferencia de aquí. Y vamos a hacer también esta conferencia de aquí. O sea que hoy tenemos el PC Gaming Show, que yo creo que en principio es la más flojilla. Luego a las 10 de la noche hora España viene Ubisoft. Y luego a las 3 de la mañana hora España viene Sony. Tenéis horarios aquí de más países, ¿vale? Os lo dejo un ratito para que lo veáis. Y voy a poner la conferencia ya. Digo, aprovecho para enseñaros esto, pues para contároslo ahora. Porque esto no es que me interese especialmente, como os diga. Pues sí, mola XCOM, pero yo es que no he jugado ninguno. Pero guay, guay. Exactamente. Cuando me la suda claramente lo que comentan porque no he jugado al juego. Está en mi cara.
We're taking a look at the Reaper right now. What's the gameplay of the Reaper?
That's right, the Reapers. So they are sort of stealth marksmen and saboteurs.
¿Esta va a ser cacota? No,
then we have the
joder.
skirmishers,
Esperemos que
which
no.
are actually defectors from the alien army.
Oh, that makes sense with the art style. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Look at those fingers. Yeah,
Deseando
so
que
they're
llegue el momento de
half
Ubisoft
alien,
para ver
human
más del
hybrids,
Assassin's
and they're
Creed.
sort of like single soldier wrecking
No sé
crews,
yo si
really
enseñarán
powerful.
más.
And then we have the Templars,
Porque
and those
enseñaron
are
tráiler ayer,
factions.
enseñaron
They are
gameplay
sound like
también.
wildlings, and they work a little differently
No sé yo
because
creo que no van a
they
enseñar
build
más.
up
Yo por mí
power
sí,
over
ojalá.
multiple
Yo quiero ver
attacks
más,
that
pero no
they
sé yo.
can then unleash in more devastating
So
abilities.
it's sort of like a mini resource management mechanic specifically for the Templar.
It definitely is. There's trade-offs there where as they gain focus,
Tengo los
you either
ganchitos
wanna
a
keep it
puntitos para
because
las
it
de
makes them
Ubisoft y Sony.
stronger,
Buah,
or
pero
you
para
can
eso se te van a
spend them
caducar,
with
tú todavía
really
queda.
powerful abilities.
¿Ves empezando ya?
Now, in the trailer, we got the chance to briefly look
Casi
at
siempre las de
the
PC lo son.
loss. And though we
Yo
didn't
recuerdo
see
el primer
too
año
much,
que la de
we got
PC me
the
gustó
chance
mucho.
to talk about them a
Que
little bit.
traían, no se me olvidará, traían como un maletín así de mafioso con tarjetas gráficas. Me reí mucho ese año.
The aliens destroyed some of the greatest cities of the world, and we've never been back. So in War of the Chosen, we go back, and what you find there are the lost.
Ojalá muestren algún Splinter Cell. ¿Sí creéis que van a enseñar uno nuevo? No sé yo. Yo jugué a los primeros. A los antiguos. Pues no espero mucho de esta conferencia. No sé. A ver si enseñan algo nuevo de ordenadores, de componentes. A ver si hay algún juego nuevo que no hayan enseñado todavía de PC. Porque ayer en la de Bethesda no enseñaron nada nuevo. Y a ver con qué nos sorprenden, eso espero. Pero no espero ningún juego en concreto. Yo creo que ni de esta ni de ninguna conferencia.
Yeah, they're mindless. So the idea is that you have this tactical combat going on against you versus the Advent, the aliens, and then all of a sudden this horde
Sí, 3 de la mañana son.
everybody's plans out of whack, and then you can even have
Yo
maps
espero algo de God of War.
Lost,
Eso en la de Sony tal vez.
It makes for some very, very beautiful chaos. It is definitely unlike any other XCOM missions you've played.
Well, Jake, you're the first guest out, so I'm going to ask you the big question.
Okay.
When do we get to play it?
We get to play this. War of the Chosen comes out August 29th, so very
Just 2
soon.
months.
That's right, very soon on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. So people should follow XCOM on Twitter and Facebook if they want to keep up with all the latest XCOM.
29 de agosto.
And Jake didn't want to do this, but I'm going to make him do it.
PS4,
Follow
PC y
Jake on
Xbox.
Twitter. It's at Solomon Jake. Follow him, say hello, and tell him you're proud to be a follower.
Yes, please, thank you. I don't like
Todo el spam de su Twitter ahí.
Don't worry, I got you covered. At Jake Solomon.
Thank you.
It's at Jake Solomon. At Jake Solomon. Thanks
Seguirle
so
en
much for
Twitter.
joining me
Jake
today.
Solomon.
Jake Solomon, creative director of XCOM.
Thank you. Thanks.
Now, as some of you may know, I am not the only host at this event. Joining me to do all sorts of announcement goodies is a woman named
Por
Sonia
cierto,
Reed.
vaya corbata.
You may know her
No
little
me había
bird.
fijado.
OMG, it's Firefox. How's it going, Sonia?
Hi. Thank you, Sean, and hello, you beautiful gamers. And whether you are checking us out online or you're hanging out with us here today, I am super excited to be here and show you guys some awesome games. And you know what? I'm not going to wait. We're just going to get right into it. I want to show you a game called Ooblets. It is going to be coming out early next year. And it is from an impressive studio of only 2 people called Glumberlands. So it's kind of a mashup between Harvest Moon meets Pokemon meets Adventure Time, but even cuter, if you can imagine that. So I'm going to show you how to grow and customize your Ooblets in this exclusive trailer.
Oh. Trailer exclusivo de Glumberland. Ya empiezan las drogas. Son Pokémon que nacen de plantas, ¿no? Pues se ve simpaticón el juego, ¿no? ¿Y ahora qué son los Sim? ¿Construyendo su casa? Seguro ya salió una planta de marihuana. No, yo creo que se las fumaron todas. No queda ninguna ya. Vale. Vamos a... Venga, a ver qué es esto. Eso no ha pasado, ¿vale? Madre mía. ¿Qué es esto? Titanfall RPG Strategy. Los creadores de Shadowrun. Battletech. El combate de mechas por turnos vuelve a PC.
Is the old school tabletop game Battletech distilled into its purest form on PC, and here to talk about it from Harebrained Schemes is Jordan Wiseman and Mitch Gittleman. Welcome, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you up on stage.
Thank you very much.
Woo! Yes, that's the spirit. Oh, hell yeah. Now, there's been a lot of games based on Battletech. Tell us about this incarnation.
By all means, Battletech is a modern turn-based tactical game.
Ah, son los creadores.
Warrior universe. There's going to be 3 modes of play. A single-player skirmish, a multiplayer skirmish, and then our open-ended mercenary campaign.
Well, I want to hop straight into some of that single-player content by taking a journey to the Argo. I understand that, you know, there's all sorts of combat goodies that we're going to see in a moment.
Una campaña para un jugador, un modo de mercenario y un multiplayer. Supongo que la chicha de esto será el multiplayer, ¿no?
From a bygone era, and it is your mercenary
Las peleas con mechas por turnos.
All over space, going from star system to star system and taking mercenary jobs.
Ciad, el E3 de Bethesda no deja verlo. Ay, es que he tenido un montón de problemas con copyright. Ya intentaré solucionarlo.
And from there you can also command your entire mercenary crew. There's some
gráficos, papu, pero no están malos gráficos, ¿no?
También. Her and all of your mech warriors as you take your jobs and upgrade your ship.
I'm curious a little bit about the storyline in the single player.
Sure. So you're going to see in a few moments Lady Kamea Arano. She's a deposed ruler. Her throne was taken by her uncle, and you are going to jump in and help her regain her throne.
Of course.
It's been plunged, the whole space has been plunged into a bloody civil war.
And these of course, are the tools of negotiation and diplomacy called battle mechs. And here in the mech bay, which is one of the key components of the Argo, you're able to customize the mechs, adding different weapons, changing out weapons and armor, heat sinks, all that kind of stuff. Yang here is your master of ceremonies. He's one of the key crew members, because fixing these mechs after you come back from combat, you're a merc. You're supposed to make money. Taking damage, you know, sets you behind, and so that's a really delicate balancing act.
Están enrollando un montón para explicar un puto Titanfall por turno.
Absolutely. That's why things like, especially in this time in era where parts are scarce, battlefield salvage is an important part of the game. And that also gets into, you know, like
los demás youtubers transmitir el E3 no les pasa eso. Lo del copyright. Pues cuánto tuvieron que sobornar a Google. No lo sé, pregúntale a ellos. Y luego me lo cuentas a mí, para enterarme. ¿Sabéis que para crear una idea de un videojuego tenéis que hacer antes el reto del chupito? Y cuando acaben las conferencias... Vamos a ver gameplay.
By all means. So Battletech full 3D environment, and like a modern tactical game, the environment counts, right? Line of sight, sensors.
Se ve muy XCOM la jugabilidad.
Covered in armor, hiding in a forest still helps. It soaks off damage. And so all of those are kind of core components of any modern game, and especially facing, which is really important in this game.
Facing really matters in Battletech. You know, battle mechs aren't giant bags of hit points. Instead, they have 11 different armor locations. There's internal structure. They have the internal components, these critical slots filled with all sorts of important pieces. So what you're trying to do is strip off the armor from one location and then keep your facing to try and penetrate it, get to the juicy bits.
Yeah, I mean, I see this diagram at the top. It's reminiscent of the original tabletop game, which I actually played as a kid. And I mean, like...
As a kid, huh? Thanks, pal.
Sí, un Titanfall de estrategia, sí. Tipo XCOM, pero con mechas.
Absolutely. And you keep going at it, you blow that arm off, and they lose those weapons.
And the back is really juicy and tasty, too. You get around the back of a battle mech and penetrate. I said that out. We're live, right? Okay.
We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
There you go. What you just saw there is Melee. One of the things we're really excited about. I mean, mechs were not only weapon systems; they're giant, armored suits, and so we end up and being able to slug and kick and just even put a foot through a cockpit or death from above, jump up and slam down on mechs. All that stuff is supported in this game. And
you really want to
manage yo qué sé, si es que está en mi cara, que no sé qué decir.
Pilots are sitting on a giant nuclear reactor, basically, and so you really want to watch your heat, how much
like this guy here is
your
overheating.
different weapons do, because if you shut down in combat, you are quite vulnerable.
It's been really fascinating to watch a lot of the streams because I know you guys just went into beta. Where can the people here go to sign up to play?
Why, Sean, they can go to battletechgame.com. That's battletechgame.com. Come find us on battletechgame.com.
And if you're interested in a used mech, this is the guy to talk to.
That's right.
Esto es para apoyar a los
I'd like to
creadores.
state again.
O para comprarlo ya.
Thank you guys so much for coming out. Jordan, Mitch, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers. Now, our very next game you may recognize from PC Games past. To talk about it, we got Sonia in the mezzanine.
Thank you, Sean. Our next game is
Sonia,
from our friends at Tales World Entertainment, and they have been working on an awesome open-ended action medieval
Sonia es muy guapa, pero no me suelo fiar de las chicas tan guapas.
Let's just get right into it. We're going to check out the trailer for Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord.
No me entera del título al final. Coño. Mira esos FPS, papu. ¿Qué juego es esto? Se ve súper épico. Vamos ya. De YOLO. Qué follón tú en la pantalla. No te enteras de nada. Pero mola, mola. ¡Ay, con 3 flechas clavas! Mount Blade 2 Bannerlord.
Always a pleasure to have Mountain Blade 2 here at the PC Gaming Show. Now, I know we've just gotten started and we've seen XCOM and Ooblets and Battletech. We would love to hear your thoughts. Use hashtag PC Gaming Show. Let us know what you think. We'll even put some of the tweets up here live. Not all of the tweets, because that would be a disaster. Some of you on Twitter really need to pull it together. But either way, we'd be thrilled to hear your thoughts. And coming up next, we have the sequel to Total War Warhammer 1. It's Total War Warhammer 2. I'm joined by Al Bickham from Creative Assembly.
How you doing?
How's it going, Al?
Yeah, really good. Good to be here.
So
La secuela de Total Warhammer o de Total War.
Quite a lot, really. I mean, this is we're working on the second game in our trilogy. It's going to be every bit as big as the first game, but we're layering on we were sort of doubling down on all the stuff that made the first game so fun, which is real diversification between the factions and a whole range of new kind of gameplay extras in the campaign game as well. So 4 new factions, set across 4 new continents.
There's 4 new factions, is there?
Yep, 4 new factions, yep.
I thought there were 2 big ones we were talking about.
No, well, we're focusing on the High Elves and the Lizard Men at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's the Dark Elves as well, and another 4th race, which we have yet to announce.
Oh, you tease.
I know, terrible, isn't it?
Well, Al, talk to us a little bit about the High Elves and the Lizard Men.
Right, so they're both essentially working towards the same goal in the campaign game, which is
como están diciendo que van a añadir nuevas razas,
a sort of unique feature of the campaign map which ties the whole narrative of the game together.
Right.
But even those in the Warhammer world with the same aims will inevitably come to blows at some point. So that's what we'll be showing today.
And we're going to be looking at what is called a quest battle between the High Elves and the Lizard Men.
Lol,
Walk us through a
pintas,
little bit of
tú,
what
mira.
we're about to see.
Okay, so this is we're about to show some footage from a quest battle for Krokgar, who's one of the legendary lords for the Lizard Men, and this is one of his quest battles, and it's the battle for the Fallen Gates. So you'll see the massed Lizard Man forces trying to oust the High Elves.
Como que me está dando un poco igual esta
They're
conferencia.
sort of meddling in an ancient power site of the Lizard Men.
Well, I'm very excited to take a look. It's going to be some in-game footage from the Battle of the Fallen Gates.
A ver, un montaje in-game. Best montaje. Ya basta de trolear. La verdad que visto así se ve súper épico. ...28 de septiembre.
September 28th, Al. That is the first time I think we've got the chance to see that official release date.
Yep, we're announcing that today. We're officially out on the 28th of September. So we're available for pre-orders now. We've got an early adopter bonus, which is a really significant sort of bunch of new content for Warhammer 1. It's a new race pack, in fact. So yeah, we're out this year.
Well, I want to take a step back, and I want to have you talk a little bit about what it was that we just saw in the Battle of the Fallen Gates.
Right, so as I mentioned, this is a quest battle, and this is the Lizard Men versus the High Elves. And this is what we've got playable here at E3 this week. So you'll be able to take control of the Lizard Men in that battle and experience that immense diversity and all the crazy stuff that's going on in their army, because they're essentially an army of ancient spacefaring dinosaurs. And they, you know, small dinosaurs that are like big dinosaurs with Aztec space lasers, and it's playing with Warhammer.
It's just dinosaurs all the way down.
Perdón, que se me ha colado ahí un sonido.
Yeah. So and Warhammer gives us these toys to play with, to make the game with. It's awesome.
Well, backing out of the battle, I know that the campaign map in Total War Warhammer was a big hit. What's going on with the campaign level in Warhammer 2?
So in Warhammer 2, we've got a ton of new campaign features which lead you to kind of explore and discover and gain new abilities and that kind of stuff. And it's all based around a sort of overarching narrative, so all the races are in tension right until the end. But we're also, shortly after launch, we're also releasing a free update for the game, which will bring the combined campaign map into play, which is the landmass from Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2, together in a gigantic campaign map where you can play any of the races that you own.
Pobre hombre, no me metáis con él. Tío, va todo ilusionado a presentar su expansión. A ver, el atuendo es un poco raro de hipster gafapasta. Entre la boina, los anteojos, eso. Pero pobre hombre, yo qué sé.
And they'll also get to see, we're also
Qué crueles que sois, tiene
sentimientos
el pobrecito.
We'll put a video together that details loads of the new features in the campaign map, so you can actually see that in action as well. So if you get a chance to play,
de todo lo que va de directo, que solo entendió la palabra
dinosaurios. Total War Warhammer 2. Once again, feel free to check it out on the E3 floor, or if you're at home, there'll be tons of footage and updates about the Battle of the Fallen Gates. Now, our next game is in the card game genre, a genre where no matter how hard I try, I wind up playing bad decks and having fun. Here to talk about the upcoming expansion for Shadowverse is Kriparian.
Hey guys, how's it going? Kriparian here. Today I want to talk to you guys about Shadowverse. Shadowverse is one of the best card games out there because it basically just does everything
pero no
right.
sé de qué de
Every time I
juego es.
log into
Del
Shadowverse, I have an amazing experience. I can play whatever deck type, whatever deck, whatever cards, anything I want to do. And of course, every time there's new cards added to the game, this whole thing gets forwarded and really the game gets so much richer. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the worldwide debut of the Wonderland Dreams trailer.
¿Es otra expansión del Hearthstone? No creo, ¿no?
I have a book for thee, like
Sí,
no
creo,
other.
sí.
Each page a window to a long-lost land, where fairy tales dovetail with myths, and wishes give birth to legends grand. Knights and dragons, or wistful love. Within this book, all ambitions bloom. But be warned, my fickle friend.
Aslan.
A dark abyss awaits us all. For blood-pricked roses wishes be. But fear not to bite life's fruit, for in this land, courage is key. With bated breath, the door sweeps open, glory-bound or purged in flame.
Wow, ¿qué clase de Digimon era eso?
Defines your fate.
No, esto no puede ser Hearthstone.
So I ask you, is this
Que cuando se ha abierto el libro así me ha recordado mucho. Wonderland Dreams. Nueva expansión de cartas. Ya decía yo, digo, es que es algo de cartas. Me está pasando con esta conferencia como la de Bethesda, que no está mal, están enseñando cosas, novedades, DLCs, juegos que a mí no me interesan mucho. Y está bien, están llevando a los creadores para hablar, pero a mí me está aburriendo un poquito. No me está pareciendo muy interesante. Bueno.
Hey, Sean. Hey, thanks for joining us, Doug. It's great to be here. I want to thank you, Doug, for coming out, and of course, thanks to Intel for sponsoring this event. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. And
pues no era Hearthstone, ¿no?
Of exciting stuff to say. I'm going to give the stage to Doug. Goodbye.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I am very excited to be here. And I'm very excited to talk to the PC gaming community about all the announcements we made.
Estoy muy contento, me alegra de estar aquí.
I'm a software guy, to the gamers. All these announcements are very relevant to everything we do. You know, 2016 was an amazing year by all measures in gaming. Look at the number of live streams in Twitch, over 2 million new live streams, over 300 million esports enthusiasts, and look at the growth in VR. 2017 is going to be even more amazing. And why? Because of you.
2016 fue muy buen año para el gaming y 2017 va a ser mejor. ¿Por qué? Por vosotros.
The innovation that we create. You drive us to innovate. You were on the edge of technology all the time with you. You have that instinct on what the new capabilities are that we need to deliver. And then you have this amazing, inclusive, and social environment. Young, old, male, female, tech, non-tech. Millions of people getting together, inspiring each other to immerse themselves in this environment. Now, it starts at Intel with amazing hardware technology. We've talked about the launch we had 2 weeks ago of our X series platforms. Now, you gaming enthusiasts will love the Core i7X overclocking capability. It's an amazing system. And you megatasters who want to game, create, stream will love the beast of them all, the Core i9 Extreme Edition, an amazing system for this environment. Now, as a software person, I love this environment. I love this hardware. Because why? It gives software people less time waiting, more time creating that amazing content. I work with over 1 million gaming developers to ensure they take full advantage of all that innovation we put on our platforms. Whether it's working on the caching algorithms or the high-density graphics or multi-core, it doesn't matter, all the different areas, the best known methods. We ensure these millions of developers are making the most out of that platform, delivering the best content. Then we work to market that so that all the gamers out here, the billions of gamers, know the new compelling content that's available.
Oh, se ha perdido. Decía que leáis el comentario de
And
abajo.
this is just an example of some of the titles we work with. I'm sure you recognize a lot of these titles. These are just a few examples, whether it's Halo Wars 2 or Overwatch, or in the VR space, where it's Arizona Sunshine or The Unspoken. We're working with all these content providers to ensure they take full advantage of all those new capabilities. How many people have heard of Destiny? Yeah.
¿Cuánta gente ha jugado Destiny?
I couldn't be more excited to tell you that we work with Bungie and Activision to bring Destiny 2 to the PC. That, yes, we're bringing it to the PC, yes, bring it up.
Cierto que de esto se ha hablado poco, que el Destiny 1 solo salió para Play y Xbox y el 2 también sale para PC.
And I can't think of a
Se habla
better
muy poco
person
de
to
esto.
talk about how amazing that experience is than the full-time live Twitch streamer and YouTube broadcaster. Welcome on stage, Tefty Teft.
¿Qué? Ah, este es un streamer famoso o algo.
Great to see you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
So you really do live, eat, breathe, sleep, dream Destiny.
I do. I play a lot of Destiny. I've got thousands of hours, hundreds of raids completions. I've built my
También le brilla la barba a este.
Destiny on Twitch, and I'm a
Sí, es un streamer muy famoso del Destiny, por lo visto.
Destiny Community Podcast, one of the biggest podcasts specifically for Destiny. So I know a lot.
Además lleva un podcast de Destiny.
That's great. And so when you play it, have you experienced it on the PC yet?
I have, yeah. I got to play it at the event. I got to say, the PC experience is amazing. As somebody who's played a lot of hours in Destiny, everybody knows how is it going to transfer, how's the experience going to go from console to PC, are they going to actually be able to deliver? And I can say 100% sure that the PC experience is incredible. When I got to play it, I was blown away. I popped Dawn Blade, used a mouse and keyboard, and rain and fire from above. It was amazing. You guys, if you're a fan of Destiny, you're going to love Destiny 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, is anybody
Ya lo ha probado, el Destiny 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to be on the it's going to be on the show floor. The other thing too is they've got tons of PC support as well.
Podrían enseñar algo de gameplay,
4K,
tío, del
it's
Destiny
gonna be
2.
Beautiful looking. It's got 21:9 ratio.
Cómo le brilla la barba.
I mean, for me personally, I'm going to be looking at pushing 144 or higher for FPS because it's going to be so nice. And yes, absolutely. On top of that, Bungie has told me something specific that is exciting for the high CPU core count chips. They are optimizing the engine so it will take advantage of all the cores in your CPU. So if you do have an i9 Extreme, which, hey, you know, maybe hook me up. If you have an i9 Extreme, it will be able to take advantage of all those cores. That is that's great. As an enthusiast,
Pero si eso no lo tiene nadie.
I'm very excited.
Dice que está muy
about that potential for
contento
Destiny 2. I can't wait to run it out.
los de Bungie porque le han dicho que anunciar, le han dejado anunciar o decir que bueno, que el Destiny 2 va a aprovechar todos los núcleos del i9 Extreme, que quien tenga uno de esos, y claro, se ha quedado todo el mundo en plan, ¿y quién tiene un i9? Venga, hasta luego. No hay gameplay del Destiny 2. Vaya, hombre.
I love that experience.
Me apetecía verlo.
Right? All right, so it's not just about the top 8 list titles, but also it's about the broad set of developers we participate with. The independent developers. You can see examples of properties that they've developed. We want to make sure everybody's developing and creating content on the PC to create more and more opportunity to participate in that. We're inspiring these developers through a contest called Level Up. Take a look at the sponsors between Intel. You got Green Man Gaming, Epic, and Razer sponsoring this event. We have real luminaries judging, like Tim Schafer. Yes, Tim Schafer is going to be judging this contest. The winner will be announced at PAX West in Seattle in September. I encourage you to participate. It's a great event. It's a great opportunity for independent
Es una especie de concurso de indies patrocinado por las marcas que ha dicho, ¿no? Que el ganador se va a llevar 10.000 pavos, creo que ha dicho. ¿Alguno de aquí
We want to discover the next
¿Sabéis
thing
hacer
on the
juegos?
PC.
¿Estáis
We don't know
estudiando
where it's
algo de
going to
eso?
come from. So we want lots of people participating on our platform so that the next big thing is built on top of the PC. And you, everybody here, all you gamers, you can participate as well. I'm certain as you're participating in a game, you've thought of something new, unique that you'd like to bring to reality. This is your opportunity to be one of those.
Si alguno pilotáis de esos temas, a lo mejor os
or at least
interesa.
influence one of those developers and create that amazing immersive experience, whether you're a gamer, content creator, or even esports. Now, speaking of esports, we had 2 exciting announcements today in the esports arena. Pun intended.
A ver, van a anunciar 2 cositas para los eSports.
With ESL.
Muy
The first
importantes.
being, we have a landmark deal with ESL. Intel is now the global technology provider for esports for ESL. That's great news for everybody in the gaming community because the latest
que
technology
Intel
used
va a
for the
proveer a la
events, the
SL.
studios, the
Qué
back-end
interesante.
operations, and the streaming capabilities during the event. You'll have the latest technology at those events. Now, the thing I love about sports, and I'm a traditional sports admirer as well, is they have this tradition around these things called a Grand Slam, whether it's tennis, golf, rugby. They have a Grand Slam. And there's no reason we can't have that in esports. And that's why we're excited with Oculus, ESL, and Intel are sponsoring the Grand Slam event, Intel Grand Slam. And all these leagues getting together. And the first team to win 4 of the 10 events will be the Grand Slam winner.
Que Intel y Oculus van a patrocinar esto, el Grand Slam.
$1 million bonus for being the Grand Slam winner. $1 million. All right.
Para el ganador será. Pues mira, si algunos sois pro player también os interesa eso. Está siendo un poco aburrido esto.
They've taken this property and now are making it VR multiplayer. Do you guys see that announcement today? It's so great.
¿Esto es un eSport de VR?
VR experience and bringing it to
Yo creo que
life
sí.
in this platform.
Pues tan
We're so
interesante.
excited about it at Intel, and we want so many people to start participating with it. We are sponsoring a deal in conjunction with Oculus to make this available with Oculus free of charge for limited time at launch. So all of you can play with this game free of charge starting July 20th. And you now can participate, learn, and become an expert in VR gaming. Now, I know when you become an expert, what do you want to do? You want to showcase those skills. Wouldn't it be awesome if you had an opportunity to showcase those skills? That's why we're super excited to work together to create the VR Challenge. With Intel, Oculus, and ESL, we're creating the VR Challenge. It's a virtual challenge in the VR arena. And everybody's going to compete, and the end of it's going to be in Poland at the Intel Extreme Masters, where the finals will be in 2018. Book your tickets now. It's going to be a crazy event.
Está presentando como un campeonato, un torneo de eSports de VR. Con el juego este de Unspoken se llama el juego.
At Intel Gaming. Follow at Intel Gaming, and you'll have a chance by participating there to win one of 3 great prizes, one from Oculus, one from Asus, and one from iBuyPower. You'll have a chance to win one of these prizes just by participating in this challenge. And don't dismay, all those will have Core i7 in the systems. So it's a great opportunity to play, participate, and bring up that challenge. So the future is here now, the future of gaming. You can just feel it growing and growing. You see the immersive capabilities. And why is that happening? Because we have amazing Intel hardware. As a software person, that helps me participate in creating amazing and compelling content and those new immersive experiences we all want to have. So the realm of possibilities are here now. An example of that is VR. So I'm stepping away now. I'm going to go up and look at the Echo platform, Echo Arena, and see how it goes, and I'll be back in a minute. So Sean?
Vuelve el amigo. Mírale, ya está aquí otra vez.
It was a pleasure to have you. Thanks for all the great announcements. And of course, thanks again to Intel for sponsoring this event. Keep in mind, if you look at the time, we're not even halfway done yet. We have all sorts of games still.
O sea que se supone que Intel patrocina este evento. Por eso se habrán hecho tanta publicidad. porque lo patrocinan ellos. Yo creía que esto lo patrocinaba AMD. Antes por lo menos lo patrocinaban ellos, creo.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And a new game from Clay Entertainment. Back to you, Sean.
Y esto será lo que vamos a ver ahora. El PlayerUnknown's y el juego este.
Time to take a look at an upcoming game up in the mezzanine with Sonia. How's it going, Sonia?
Joder, Sonia.
Thank you, Sean. So, as a Firefox, this is a game that
Sonia
pulls on my
Son.
heartstrings and does not let go. And I just want to hear more about it. And luckily, I've got the perfect person to talk to today. I am joined by
Sonia se parece a Robin, a la de cómo conocí a vuestra madre.
Secret Legend, but you've got some special announcements. I saw some secretive tweets from the Dicey Twitter account.
You did.
Do you want to talk about that?
Well, you're exactly right. We were known as Secret Legend, but today we're announcing our new name, Tunic. So you can head to tunicgame.com to find out more about that. And we're announcing that we're pairing with publisher Finji, who you may know from their incredible work on Night in the Woods and Overland.
That's so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Son la misma,
I'll tell
tío.
you, it wasn't just the fox that sold me on this game. I love the beautiful, charming graphics, and honestly, I just want to see more of it. Can we check out the trailer? Let's do
Venga,
it.
cuéntanos algo entretenido, Sonia. Ojo, a ver. Luego los audios están fatal balanceados. Tengo que estar todo el rato cambiando el volumen, si os fijáis. Pues si no, no me escucháis nada. Ayer en la conferencia de Microsoft había un juego así indie también de un zorrito con plataformas que se veía mucho más interesante que esto. Pero bueno, supongo que también tendrá su público esto. No tiene mala pinta, pero el de ayer a mí me parece más interesante. Hostia. Es Dark Souls con un zorrito. Tunic. No se te ha escuchado, Sonia.
Thank you, Sonia. Now, our next title that we'll be talking about is honestly a huge surprise hit, having just surpassed 3 million sales. You may recognize it as one of the 3 most played and broadcasted games on Twitch right now. It's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and I'm literally next to PlayerUnknown right now. Brendan Green, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning,
Este es el creador. Este es el famoso PlayerUnknown
Yeah.
que ha creado el Battleground.
I gotta say, it has been amazing to see the runaway success of your game. What's it been like for you?
It's been immense. I mean, really, the reaction we've got from players and content creators has been tremendous, and I want to say thank you to everyone for that. It's been great.
No me extraña. Tiene que estar flipando. En plan, el juego de este tío se ha hecho súper famoso.
Well, I guess the joy
De la
of the
noche a la
bullet flying
mañana.
through my head out of nowhere, and I'll never know why.
You gotta learn to love the salt. Love it.
Well, I understand that even though a lot of people treat the game almost as a full release right now, it's still technically not released yet, and there's a whole lot more to come. Talk to us a little bit about what's in store.
So we have, our focus at the moment is to sort of stabilize
Y
the
ese
game.
con la bata y el gorro y la gafa. Miele, 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 miele.
You know, 2D, 3D replays planned for in-game replays. We have new weapons coming every month. So yeah, no, but our current focus is really just to get the game competitive and stable.
So suddenly fences are no longer the most.
Mira, ya era hora que metiesen eso.
Climb over them.
Yeah. So our content programmer Marek, he's done a really great job getting this system to be dynamic. So it doesn't matter what object you're in front of, you'll jump or vault over it.
Yeah, so in terms of jumping and vaulting, is it? Yeah, vaulting. Is it sort of, when you say that it's dynamic?
La gente aplaude porque han metido volteretas en PlayerUnknown, tío.
Yeah, exactly, and it has different animations for each different thing, so vaulting, climbing. Now we also have weather, so...
¿Qué cosa dices que hizo este tipo? El juego este que estás viendo, que se ha hecho súper famoso, que lo juega todo el mundo, además de la noche a la mañana. Hombre, lo ha hecho Blue Hole, no lo ha hecho él solo, pero se supone que es el jefazo.
And what is the impact on gameplay of these types of things with weather?
It just changed dynamic. Oh, so this is...
Oh, a new gun.
Uy, esa arma es nueva, ¿no?
This is the OTS Groza. It's a 7.62 bullpup. super powerful, crate only. Yeah, it's going to be a beast.
Is it a short range, long range? Where's
medium to medium, short to medium? It's going to be a beast. It's going to be super powerful, and then long range it'll work as well.
And I remember before you came on the show, I asked, why did you put that gun in? And I think your answer was,
it just looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah. It's like we wanted to add a bullpup and we wanted to add something else to the 7.62 class, and this is a Spetsnaz weapon. It just looks great.
It looks cool, as good as a reason as any, honestly. I want to come back to the weather effects. Obviously, they look beautiful. What are some of the impacts that you've seen on the gameplay with the new weather effects?
Well, it's just going to change the way you play. So it's not necessarily
Han
going to
metido
be
nuevos efectos de clima,
all the
dice.
time. You know, with the foggy weather, you're going to have to choose a more kind of
Nuevas armas, lo de las volteretas, que se lo van a meter, supongo. Están trabajando en ello. Porque yo jugaba antes al PlayerUnknown's y no tenía voltereta.
We've seen in the video, but talk to me about long term. What's far down the line for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds?
So again, we want to finish out the platform and make it a good platform for all kind of game modes. You know, we will have modding down the line as well. Yeah, and it's again, it's just creating a stable platform. That's our aim here.
I understand that you're also working on new maps.
Yeah, so we have 2 new maps coming. One based in Peru.
Dos mapas nuevos.
With sort of ruined cities.
Uno del desierto.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then this other one in the Adriatic. So it has even a ruined cosmodrome in the center of the map with like snowfall, and I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that
Me han dado ganas de jugar tú al
with
PlayerUnknown.
the community of regular players. What's in store for those people playing the game right now?
So as I said, we have our custom games. We have the 3D replays, which I'm really excited about because it allows you to watch your match back in the engine with the free cam and slow motion and stuff like that.
Which is great for content creators.
Exactly, right? So you can
content
just...
creators, yeah.
Yeah, and it'll just give you a new way to create like machinimas and stuff like that within the game.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to bring up, because you were mentioning this a lot before you came on, you have all sorts of stability and performance fixes incoming.
Yeah, so like our focus this month is on our server performance and really getting that stable, because at the moment the servers aren't performing the best they could. But you know, so last month our team's focus was on client performance.
Que estáis los del chat.
Broadly for a lot of people.
Estáis todos
vinagres. So they've already found a lot of things to fix, and I'm excited.
That's great. I'm sure players will completely
Por
stop
lo que leo, vamos.
anything on the game at that point.
Right.
They will accept responsibility for those losses then. Well, to PlayerUnknown himself, Brendan, thank you so much for coming out to talk about it. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Por fin se va.
As we get ourselves set up for the next game, we're going to head to the mezzanine with Sonia for a little bit of a giveaway.
Thank you, Sean. Sean is pretty cool, right?
Va a repartir regalos, Sonia.
A little bit cooler, a free PC. We're going to be giving away a badass PC from our friends at Intel. This bad boy is going to be rocking an i7 7700K processor. There's a lot of 7s in there, and it's going to be running a NVIDIA GTX 1080.
Pon el
it's
link
worth
por
more
algún
than
lado, tú.
$2,500. So if you want a chance to win, head over to PCGamingShow.com/giveaway and put in your information. Good luck, and back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Sonia. And I am pretty cool, right? Jesus, thanks, audience.
Dice el tío, gracias Sonia, soy muy cool, ¿a que sí? Y nadie le aplaudió ni nada. Sonia, esto está mal. Maldita Sonia, sabía que no debería de confiar en ella. Quería participar, pero no me han dejado.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
As always.
All right.
You guys have been busy. Congratulations on the recent release of Rising Storm 2.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a realism FPS. We just released it 2 weeks ago, and the fan reaction's been really positive.
Rising Storm 2. Este no sé cuál es.
Everyone who was part of the beta phases.
Porque todos llevan boina.
The game in a real positive way, and be sure to check out the Trello boards, see what we're up to, and we're actually
Están de modas las boinas entre los creadores de videojuegos. No sé qué juego es, pero se ve muy Battlefield, ¿no? Mola.
Last year you announced Killing Floor, Incursion, the VR Killing Floor. How's that been going?
Oh, that's been going awesome. You know, Incursion's one of the second phase, game or second wave games to come out for VR.
Me ha engañado Sonia con su link que no funciona, tío. Os lo dije al principio del directo. Sonia muy guapa, pero no me fío de ella.
Pero
esto no era como el Battlefield porque tiene zombies. Y estas manos transparentes, eso es el VR, ¿no? Será el Oculus o algo de eso. Disculpad mi ignorancia. Ah, ahora es el Killing Floor. Ah, que hemos cambiado de juego, vale.
One of the things that really put us on the map was our time seasonal events.
That boy,
and when we released Killing Floor 2, people were always clamoring and asking, you know, well, when are you guys going to do that for Killing Floor 2?
Seguro que todos los que llevan boinas porque están calvos. Mira como el presentador no lleva. Si es que las boinas están pasadas de moda.
Let's go ahead and take a look at Killing Floor 2's Summer Sideshow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tragic Kingdom Amusement Park. Come on down and play Find Mini Pukey, Feed the Pound, Dunk the Float, and Pop. What? Was that a real head? Trade for festive clown makeup, colorful hats, and dozens of other items. Carnival rewards are only available for a limited time. See the adorable pinhead and marvel at the mighty strong clown. Ah, what is wrong with him? Hear the bearded beauty, the siren from Fiji. I think I'm gonna be sick. Backed by popular demand. Come see Pukey the Clown and the Monkey Man. Why does the monkey have a chainsaw? Find romance in the tunnel of love. Swing on the Queen of Chains. Look at the... Ow! Scream on Pound Mountain. Oh, but that's not safe. See the death-defying fire stunts of Dr. Infernum's Pyrotechnic Emporium! Oh, is he actually on fire? Why is that person on fire? Earn new achievements and triumph a new...
Tío, en serio, ¿a quién coño le gusta estas putas mierdas? Estos juegos de drogados psicodélicos...
Why does the carnival cleanup crew need hazmat suits? No, no, I'm done! This is a horror show! I'm getting out of here! If you can hear this, run!
Warning. News and outbreaks and variants and behavior detected. Be alert for new challenges, modes, and threats in the weekly outbreaks.
Ah, esto es una expansión o algo del Killing Floor 2. Ese juego sí sé cuál es. Qué locura, tío.
Oh yeah, I mean, seasonal events
Puta
are
locura.
definitely the most fun to work on. I mean, it's just, we can just go crazy and go goofy. You know, we got
Puta locura.
clowns.
You got the monkey that bangs the cymbal with a chainsaw instead.
Midgets on stilts, bearded ladies, you know, we got it all.
Tell me a little bit about what is the gameplay? What's some of the stuff that people can experience in the Summer Sideshow?
So it's a limited time event. It's only going to last for 1 month. So all this crazy stuff you're seeing here, it's 1 month. Yeah. And there's over 50 cosmetic items that people can gain from playing it totally free. All the Zeds have been replaced. All the voices have been redone. We also have mini games.
Vaya locura. ¿Conocéis el juego este, el Killing Floor 2? Que en sí no se parece en nada a esto. Es de ir aguantando ahí oleadas en cooperativo, tipo los zombies del Call of Duty. Y ahora le han metido esta temática de circo de los horrores, que bueno. Habrá gente que le guste, supongo, pero... Puta locura.
So no damage unless it's headshot.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have another one called Tiny Terror, where every
Seguro que a Toallín le gustaría este juego. ¿Conocéis a Toallín?
Little like midget Zeds, which is really crazy. And whenever the players get hit, they shrink too.
Oh, really?
So I mean, that's just 2 of them. We have 8 total, and it's over 2 months worth of content. And if they're really hard to beat, but if you beat it, you get really cool like precious.
Claro, eso es lo que me ha pasado a mí, Reggie, que yo el Killing Floor lo conozco, pero he visto esto y ha sido como, pero...
Actually, you can play it tomorrow. And it's free on Steam all week.
Easy.
Yep. So you got no excuse not to try it.
The Last of Us.
Well, I mean, what if people are here at E3?
Oh, well, they can play here too.
Oh boy, that was a setup on my part. Yeah, whereabouts is it at on the E3 floor?
That's at the PC Gamer Show.
Oh, that's right. It's at the PC Gaming Show booth. We have our own booth here at E3.
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad that 2 of you are very excited to hear that.
The first of many, right? This is going to become a tradition.
Indubitably. Yeah. I'm not in charge of the budget, so yes.
Tan de coña ahora, no he pillado la broma además.
Well, I want to say, Bill, thank you so much for coming out. Congrats on all the projects and the progress. Bill Monk from Tripwire Interactive.
Thank you.
Cheers. Let's head back up to the mezzanine for a little bit of social with Sonia.
This year's PC gaming show is being broadcast on more platforms than ever before. We are on Steam, we are on Facebook and Twitch and Mixer. We are all over the place. This is awesome. And guys, if you're on Mixer, you gotta sweet talk the mods a little bit. Be kind of nice to them because they're going to be giving away games throughout the entire show.
Mira, si ves el Mixer en vivo te regalan juegos. No me lo creo ya, Sonia, no cuela. No me engañes.
I'll happily buy them. Yay, video games! Now, if any of you got the chance to see the conferences leading up to today, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. In particular, Microsoft has had a whole slew of games people are pumped for, including some that are going to be at this show, starting with the first ever incarnation of Forza Motorsport coming straight to PC. It's Forza Motorsport 7. Joining me to talk about it is the creative director of Forza Motorsport from Turn 10, Bill Giese.
El director creativo nos viene a hablar de Forza Motorsport 7. No vamos a ver nada nuevo, yo creo, en esta. Así que relajaos las tetas porque esto vaya así.
Not an in-game car, a
no,
car.
An actual car. That's normally saved for car shows like Geneva and Paris.
Yeah.
We revealed a car here at E3, the Porsche 911 GT2 RS, to the world yesterday. It was awesome.
You know, I've gotten the chance
Lo
to
que
play
sí se ve jodidamente bien el
games,
juego.
and that always struck me as a racing game not focused on being cartoonish
Todo esto son
or
imágenes del
guns
juego.
to the car. It's about
4K.
hyper-realistic racing.
Forza Motorsport is about precision, it's about competition, and we've
Que también es un juego de coches, su fuerte van a ser los gráficos. Pero joder, es que se ve de bien, mira.
Recreate that feeling of driving a car at peak. The cars, we have over 700 cars. Every single one of them, they're going to rattle and shake. It's going to scare the crap out of you.
What are some of the things that you've done to bring that experience to PC?
Well, going to PC has been awesome. Not only will it have mouse and keyboard
Tío,
support, but with multi-USB, we have...
Me aburren un montón estas conferencias que llaman a los creadores para hablar de juegos que ya se han enseñado, en plan... A ver, que me parece estupendo, ¿eh? Está muy bien que lo hagan. Pues tío, han creado su juego, vienen a darle publicidad, vienen a informar, te enseñan cositas. Pero esta es la parte del E3, macho, que a mí personalmente más me aburre. A mí lo que me gusta es cuando empiezan a enseñarnos trailers y a juegos nuevos y fechas de lanzamiento y... Está siendo un poco meh esta conferencia, que está bien, repito, está muy bien. Pero a mí no me está entreteniendo mucho. En plan, todo esto ya se vio ayer. La gracia, supongo, es lo que está contando el tipo. Y es que en sí no me interesa lo que cuente, me interesa probarlo si puedo. Si no puedo probarlo, pues nada. Y probablemente no pueda probar este juego. Venga, majo. Que vaya bien. Suerte con el Forza.
Of all the stuff Microsoft's doing, you just got the chance to look at Forza, and now coming onto the stage, I am replacing Bill with Ted Timmons. He's the PC design lead at Rare to talk about Sea of Thieves. Come on out.
No! Oh no!
Hey, Sean.
Ted Timmons.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. It's a pleasure. So
Otra vez más,
talk
no.
to me a little bit about what is Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, so we feel like we've made the pirate game you've always wanted. When you think about sailing around the open seas, you and your crew of crewmates. Basically, it's Pirates of the Caribbean.
¿Cuánto han pagado estos tíos para salir en todos los E3? En todos los putos E3. Todos los años. 2 veces ya este año. Qué pesado, que ya lo hemos visto.
Now, I had to ask the same question to Forza Motorsport. What are some of the things, some of the features that you've added?
¿Qué coñazo están dando con este juego, tío?
Yeah, so we've got things like 4K, unlocked frame rates, everything you expect, but we've also bought our gameplay.
Pues ya lo vimos, pues piratas que buscan tesoros y mataban esqueletos a pistolazos y abordaban barcos y no se sabía para qué. Ya lo vimos ayer, lo vimos en 2016, lo vimos en 2015, hoy también.
It's probably a challenge to try to develop for 2 different devices at once.
Yeah, so we decided to change our approach to the game. We're actually building both versions in parallel because we felt that's how we deliver the same game on the same day.
So it's not a port from one device to the other.
Qué pesados, ¿no, tío? Ya hablando en serio, vale, ya fuera de bromas. Qué pesados.
Awesome.
Pues está guay el juego, supongo que será para el público más infantil. A mí no me llama para nada. No está mal, pero ya está bien, ¿no? Una vez vale, 2, bueno, 3 ya es ser muy pesado, pero 4 veces, tío. Anda ya, hombre, venga. Por lo menos ha sido rápido.
Now, this next title is one I'm personally very excited about, given the fact that when I took one
Van como más rápido ahora. Han metido la quinta, ¿sabes? Han cambiado de
It's
marcha.
an evolution of cyberpunk, a game called The Last Night. Here to talk about it is the creative director at Odd Tales. Join me in welcoming Tim Sauret.
Ni puta idea. Tim Sauret.
Tim, welcome. Thanks for coming out. Let's ask the obvious question. What is The Last Night?
The Last Night is what we call a cinematic platformer, which means it's not a game like Mario where you have to jump from platform to platform, but it's more story-driven, it's more...
Qué gracioso el francés. The Last Night, un juego de plataformas. Vamos a ver.
Saw that you guys had the big announcement reveal at Microsoft yesterday. I mean, that trailer was such a hit.
Ah, vale, este también salió ayer. Este es el que tenía como los fondos con graficotes y los personajes eran como píxeles. ¿Os acordáis alguno? De la conferencia de Microsoft.
I am embarrassed by some tweets I made in the past. I want to apologize for those. They do not in any way represent why
Creo que era
I'm
este.
today or what The Last Night will be about.
Well, let's talk about what the game is about. I know that the setting of The Last Night is super important to the character of the game. Tell me, where are we right now?
I want you to imagine a world where machines are surpassing us in every possible way, you know. So not only physically, but also intellectually, emotionally, even creatively.
So in a sense, like any job that you could possibly imagine, an AI does better.
Absolutely.
Including being a host for a PC gaming show.
Including that.
Well, I imagine, thank you, this one person who is also excited about the booth. Now, in terms of this world, this must give a kind of sense of existential.
Yo lo que no entiendo es por qué lo de los píxeles, tío.
Yeah, like the way I can.
Like, what is it like to be a person in this world?
So, you know, in a world where you're not valuable anymore in production, the only thing you can really do is to consume endlessly, right? So what we're trying to see with this game is how do you define yourself, you know, when you don't have anything to create or to strive for.
Yeah, and I can see, you know, obviously there's the futuristic lighting and the visuals.
Yo tampoco he entendido de qué va el juego. Dice que es muy creativo, que depende de ti mismo, que... No sé, todo palabras así muy abstractas, ¿sabes? No dice nada en concreto.
And advertising, basically. So I wanted to, you know, explore what I could do with 2D and pixel art and just augment that and enrich
Más
it
drogas.
with modern techniques of lighting and compositing.
Right. You know,
Dice que es todo con técnica de píxeles, de pixel art, pero que con las nuevas técnicas de iluminación que no parecen píxeles, pero que en sí todo es píxel. Si te fijas, todo es píxel. Aunque ahora no lo parece, todo es píxel. Pero con la iluminación esa como que no se nota.
So, because of that, you know, he wants to change the world. And on
you want
his
to have
way,
like an impact and a meaning.
Absolutely. So on his way to do that, he's going to
No se ve nada mal.
questionable characters you have to trust or not on your way.
What about the gameplay? What are the things that if I'm the player, what do I do in The Last Night?
So we took inspiration from some classic genre like point and click and adventure games, but so you get, you know,
Una aventura point and click, mira, ya me he enterado de qué va.
dialogues, of course, but we added a real-time component.
Aventura gráfica.
Real time in what sort of sense? What makes it a real-time puzzle?
So it means that, you know, while you are busy breaking in an apartment, for instance, all the simulation is still happening.
Decía que tenías que ir confiando en la gente, supongo que habrá que ir tomando decisiones.
So in a sense, like, if I tried to break into the apartment at night, the police might be on patrol at that time, but if I came in the morning, there might be no police, but the resident might be home.
Absolutely, yeah. So,
Pero la verdad que se ve muy bonito.
If you see the police coming around the corner, you better, you know, just hide, pretend to be a hobo, or maybe draw your gun.
You also mentioned that the structure of the game is in one night after the other. What's that like?
Yeah, so the game is structured around several nights, so, you know, it spans on several nights, and they are all interconnected, which means that what you tell people on the very first night, you know, and what you do also is...
Puesto los horarios sin querer,
so if I'm just in a conversation, just walk away in the middle of it?
Yeah, they will remember it.
They'll remember, like 2 days later, they'll be
absolutely.
angry.
Yeah.
That's fast. That must add a huge amount of replayability since the world is just changing based on
Yeah, we're taking a lot of pleasure to hide a lot of stuff into
Veo por lo que leo en vuestros comentarios que os está entreteniendo mucho la conferencia.
Collectively, so, yeah.
Well, again, I love the art style. I love these story-driven adventure games. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you, Sean.
I'm looking forward to it. Cheers.
Thank you, bye.
Once again, that's oddtales.net for more information about The Last Night. Now, this next game surprised me. I'm sure it will surprise you because of its style. It's from the makers of Arma, the realistic military simulator, and DayZ, the zombie survival game. This one has a much
De
more
los creadores de Arma y
Let's look at the
DayZ.
next title from Bohemia Interactive.
Vamos a ver.
It was the mother of all storms.
Joder.
But somehow I just knew everything was going to be... Well, being stranded on a desert island is a lot of fun. You get to meet new friends. You get in shape. And you learn how to craft.
Un survival, ¿no?
And because it's your land, it
Muy
won't take
simpático.
long before you call that place a home. But that's just the beginning, because here you can do anything.
LOL. Fine. Se ve como un Minecraft así New Gen, ¿no? Tipo con survival, crafteo. Estos serán mapas que va creando la gente, ¿no? Que si carreras, que si barcos.
Islands. Explore your creativity. Visit us at
Islands.
islands.com.
No está mal.
Here to join me to
Se veía
talk
simpaticote el
about
juego.
Islands, the creative director from Bohemia Interactive. It's Alish Ulm. Welcome, Alish. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Sean.
What kind of game is Islands?
Okay, so Islands is a sandbox game about survival and exploration, but at the same time, in Islands you can create your own games, your own adventures, just like the ones we've shown in the video.
Yeah.
Actually, Islands stands for your lands, lands that you create where you make the rules.
And it's almost like a sandbox game, not where you're necessarily building a structure, but you're trying to build an experience.
Yes, exactly.
And I have to ask, given the fact that the style of it contrasts so sharply with Arma and DayZ, what is it about Islands that still makes it a Bohemia game?
Claro, es que es de los creadores de Arma y DayZ. Por eso es raro esto. No me lo esperaba.
That make up a Bohemia game.
Yeah.
It's still
No les
about
pega.
exploration and finding out how things work, about creativity and imagination. And just like Arma or DayZ, we're trying to create a platform to connect players with each other when they play online or when they create something new and share it with the community.
And I know that modding is a legendary part of
Yes.
Bohemia's history. What are some of the lessons that you've learned from Arma, learned from DayZ,
Pues muy
brought to
Minecraft.
modding in Islands?
Bien.
Well, we have our own editor.
Yo es que estos juegos así me parece muy bien que los hagan, pero los veo como innecesarios. En plan, si ya hay un Minecraft, está bien, estupendo. Pero no me llaman por eso, porque los veo como innecesarios.
Prototype their creations really quickly.
Yeah.
And so in the editor, the players can obviously create something
Esto será
new,
el creador
but
de
they can
mundos,
also
¿o cómo?
decide to open and modify existing games, ones that we created or ones that other players made for them.
Yeah, I mean, we got the chance to see some scenarios in the initial trailer. Like, those are the ones that you're referring to.
Yep.
That is fantastic. I mean, tell me a little bit about what it is that we're seeing right here on screen.
Well, this is just some random multiplayer game. There are two guys. Initially, there were three. I think one just like fell down the bridge. They are trying to get some kind of treasure, and yeah, they are setting the explosives.
Cuidado.
I mean, I want to ask about, I know you guys are here at E3. Hey, look, it's a treasure. I know you guys are here.
No me lo esperaba.
What are some of the things that players can get their hands on at this event?
Well, we'll be showing some of the games that we created with the Islands game editor, but at the same time, we'll be showing how they can use the editor to create those games.
That's awesome. And I mean, I know there's a way for people to play right now, is that right?
Yeah, actually, they can already play the alpha version of the game. It's available as a
Pues muy simpático, el Minecraft de los creadores de Arma y de IZ.
On our website, islands.com.
Y yo qué sé.
And later this year, we are coming to Steam Early Access.
That's awesome. And remember, that's islands.com with a Y.
Tiene que haber variedad, un sea de una misma idea. A mí me parece estupendo que hagan todos estos juegos. Lo que digo es que no me gustan y el motivo del que no me gustan es ese, que los veo innecesarios. Pero me parece estupendo, claro que tiene que haber variedad y cuanto más juegos mejor. Pero los juegos innecesarios no me suelen llamar la atención.
Our next world exclusive is going to be up in the mezzanine with Sonia.
Thank you, Sean. I am so honored to be a part of this world-exclusive reveal from developers Clay. You might recognize their name from games like Don't Starve or Don't Starve Together for lonely folk like myself. And last year at the PC Gaming Show, they actually revealed their sci-fi colony sim game, Oxygen Not Included. And this year, they are back. And they are back with a bang. And I am so excited to reveal their upcoming sci-fi RPG game. It is called Griffland.
Griffland, de los creadores de Don't Starve. La verdad que se parece un montón al Don't Starve. ¿Conocéis ese juego? También era un Survivor así en una isla. Este se ve más aventura, ¿no? Pero se parece un montón al Don't Starve. La estética. ¿El combate es por turnos o...? Grifflands. Finales del 2017, principios de 2018.
Now, this next title is an interesting one because I'm not someone who plays many VR games, but I got a chance to check this one out several
Podrían haber explicado más de este sí me interesaba, tío.
Hooked, so I can't wait to talk about it with the creative director from Ready at Dawn. It's Rue Virasuria to talk about Lone Echo. Welcome, Rue.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Now, Rue.
Yeah.
I've gotten the chance to play Lone Echo, but a lot of people here maybe haven't seen it or heard
Nadie aplaude este año.
What is the game?
So the game, the Lone Echo, is a single player experience in VR where you play a cybernetic AI on the mining station in the rings of Saturn, and basically in the game you're allowed to move in zero G freely. You can interact with everything inside the environment, and also you'll see that you have an NPC that you can interact with. You can use your hands basically to go everywhere you need to go.
This was the thing that was so amazing for me. You stand still and then you use your arms to grab onto objects in the environment to push and pull yourself around, and it was really amazing to move that way. I've never seen it.
Where the genesis of the project was. We built the mechanic to build the game. So the mechanic was this idea that came from watching ISS space station astronauts, moving around. And we just basically made this motion that allows you to navigate using your hands just like you would use your legs.
So it's been a few months since I got the chance to play. What's been happening in terms of the single player?
Tengo unas ganas de probar la realidad virtual, tío. Todavía no la he probado.
Actually, when we wrote the story for it, we
Tiene que ser súper extraño.
Somebody that a lot of people out there know, Troy Baker, and Troy decided to take on the role for the AI.
And of course, another thing that we get the chance to talk about is the multiplayer component to Lone Echo called Echo Arena. Rue, how does this game work?
Basically, it's a futuristic VR sport where you play, 10 people play in 2 different teams to get a disc inside each other's goals.
Now, you might be a little bit confused as to how exactly that works, but don't worry. We're going to take an even closer look at what the gameplay is like for Echo Arena.
Este es el supuesto eSport de realidad virtual.
Players fly faster. Passes go farther. Strikes hit harder. Stakes get higher. And victory tastes sweeter. This is Zero G in the Echo Arena.
Echo Arena.
Anomaly detected. What the hell? Jack, are you seeing?
Esto me gusta más. Echo Arena y Long Echo.
We are up here with Echo Arena in action as some of the Ready at Dawn developers are playing against each other. So, Doug, welcome back. Hello.
Thank you.
It's awesome to have you. But listen, before we get into VR, I really wanted you to tell me a little bit more about the Grand Slam event.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm a big sports fan. So tennis, golf, rugby, they have the Grand Slam. Now we have it at esports. So
mira el atraje, lo está jugando tú. Ha tirado un mando y todo al suelo, yo creo.
Grand Slam, which is really exciting.
That's awesome. That's exciting. So I'd like to know a little bit more about Intel's involvement with this game.
You know, we've been involved working closely with the best VR developers for a long time, and I'm excited to work with Ready at Dawn as they're delivering the next second generation.
Tiene que molar, tío.
They've been an ideal partner to enhance that experience to scale to the most performant CPUs like the i7 and i9.
That's amazing. So I was really excited to hear about your announcement earlier.
Yeah, Ready at Dawn, Intel, and Oculus, we announced that Intel is sponsoring a free release of Echo Arena to all Oculus Rift users when it launches on July 20th for a limited time. And this is because we want as many users as possible on this system. We want to ensure that everyone, including these guys behind us, the gamers behind us as you see,
¿Qué es como balonmano pero sin gravedad o cómo?
So speaking of esports, I would really love to hear more about Intel's involvement with esports.
Intel has a long history as a leader in esports. We worked with companies like ESL for the Intel Extreme Masters. And we're excited about Echo Arena and the growth of esports. And that's why we're expanding our partnership with ESL and Oculus to launch the VR Challenge League. It kicks off in July, and it features Echo Arena and the Unspoken. And it gives esports enthusiasts the opportunity to compete in VR at key upcoming events, with the finals happening in Poland in 2018 at the Intel Extreme Masters.
Okay, well that sounds kind of awesome. Well, thank you, Doug. I cannot wait to play this game. It's going to be coming out July 20th, and you can pre-order it right now. And Rift owners can actually try the open beta on June 23rd. So back to you, Sean.
Open beta el 20 de julio.
Once again, I got the chance to play Lone Echo, and I want to stress, you just have to play it. The single-player experience is especially mind-blowing. So once again, that's Lone Echo. Our next guest announced a game 2 years ago under the title
Son como el mismo juego, pero el single player es Long Echo y el multiplayer es Echo Arena.
Gameplay, but cold hard dates is the CEO of Boss Key Productions himself, Cliff Blazinski. Welcome to the stage.
Thanks for having me, man. Nice.
Now, Cliff, I know that you guys in the past have been doing a lot of alphas and betas. How have those been going?
They've been going well. The alpha, it was all right. And then the first beta was good. The second beta was great. We're doing our final closed beta June 28th. If you have a key, sign on to Steam, download the latest update. And then we're doing our Rise Up event, which is a full open beta June 30th. Hop online, play the game, let us know what you think.
And I gotta ask, what
beta cerrada el 28 de junio, beta abierta el 30. Las buenas betas, que solo son publicidad, ni beta ni polla.
Where they're like, oh, it's our beta and the game's out next week. I'm like, that's not really the case. You're not going to be able to fix anything. So for our game, we found that the Rommers shotgun was way too spammy. Overcharge wasn't that exciting, so we sped that up a little bit and we sped up the characters. We took actual
no sé cuánto queda de conferencia, pero joder.
And these are more than just balance changes. I imagine that speeding up the pace of things creates a pretty different balance dynamic across the board.
Yeah, I mean, you change one thing, it's the butterfly effect. It affects everything else. And is the game going to be balanced on launch? No. That's why we need people's feedback. Play the game, see what characters are overpowered, underpowered, and then we'll introduce new characters and reshuffle the deck.
And I know that it can't be in beta forever, so Cliff, tell us when it's out.
Can I get a drum roll?
Audience, go! Do a thing.
So the game is finally dropping on August 8th on PC and PlayStation 4.
Oh, that's soon.
$29.99.
Y el juego sale el 4 de agosto en PC y PS4. Ah, 29,99 creo que ha dicho.
And if you didn't see it online, Cliff took a bow. Yes, $29.99. Well, if you haven't gotten the chance to see the game and follow it throughout the recent PC gaming shows,
sí, vamos a jugar algo mientras esperamos algo interesante o hablar al Discord. Pero tan mal no está la esta. Ay, no me he enterado de lo que ha dicho ahora.
Oh, the speed of this game is intense.
1,000 decisions a minute. It's hardcore PvP.
Your instincts take over. It's primal.
It's exhilarating.
¿Qué juego es este? ¿Destiny 2?
I was shaking after the matches ended.
Ah, no, es el que estaba hablando el tío.
Are you ready for another one? I'm like, I just need a minute, man. I'm shaking. I'm shaking over here.
Sí, este me suena el nombre.
I think the thing people are going to find in this game the most enjoyable is simply how difficult it is.
There's a pretty impressive skill gap. You can't just sit down and dominate within an hour or two.
Practical skill required. Precision aiming, the ridiculously fast movement.
Mechanically, it requires a lot of aim, a lot of vision and game sense. It's a twitch shooter. It's how a twitch shooter should be.
The action's going to press you, and if you don't keep on top of it, you're just going to get blown off the map.
I think team comp is definitely a huge thing for this game.
As we're flying around in zero gravity, you know, it's kind of a new situation for us. How do you keep up with your tank and protect them and heal them, also protect your healer and peel off them, while DPS is still being affected and they're being supported? It gets crazy very quickly.
The gravity is the biggest
Supone que es tipo MOBA, ¿no? Estoy intentando enterarme de algo. Pero ha dicho que hay healer, hay DPS, tanques.
Really wild and insane.
Now, literally anywhere you look is potentially an attack point.
I am literally under the map, saving myself from a grappling hook, whipping myself into the air, shooting at anyone below.
You need to check every possible corner. People are going to fly you with jetpacks, going to fly at you with double swords. You're going to have
someone that could just jet up in the sky, and all of a sudden now you have to worry about getting up there.
There's some abilities that I just haven't seen before.
Medic role is actually phenomenal. Well, it's battle medic, they call it. So it's not one of those medics where you have to sit back. It's not even a thankless role anymore because I'm out there slaying, killing with the rest of my team while keeping them alive.
Wraith's got a really good one. With the slide and then the jump into 0G, that's great. Getting like through the map that fast is ridiculously fun.
I've been using the Vanguard to drift off the side, so I've been coming up behind the enemy. It took like 3-4 rounds before they caught on.
With the gunslinger, he's a very precision character, so just spinning around and popping someone in the head real quick, it feels great. The game is just aggressive all the time.
And this game gives you so much variety of motion.
I never felt more tested.
It makes you think in a completely different way.
The fastest speed I've ever seen in my life. Crazy when you're playing it.
Se ve bien, se ve bien. Estoy intentando entender de qué va. Va de matar, ¿no? Por lo que pilla. Sí, se ve muy rápido. Todo el mundo decía eso, que era muy rápido, muy frenético, muy la hostia. No me engañes, Sonia, que ese link no funciona. Está otra vez con el sorteo del ordenador. Ya. Sortean un PC de más de $2.500. Y el enlace no funciona.
I think it can, Sonia, and I also think that it can run our next title. I am a master of transition. Our next game is from Chucklefish, the wonderful folks who helped bring you Stardew Valley and Starbound. Let's take a look at their upcoming game, Wargroove.
¿Qué fue del Starbound ese, tú? Creo que ha dicho que es de los creadores de Starbound y Stardew Valley. ¿Esto qué es? ¿Fire Emblem? Sí, se ve muy parecido al Fire Emblem. En plan así, estrategia por turnos. ¿Qué fue de Starbound, tú? El Starbound era como una especie de Terraria en el espacio. No sé si alguno lo conocíais. Creador de mapas. Coño, un dragón.
War Groove. Today we're not just going to get a chance to talk about the game, but we
Parecía bueno, sí. Para los que os gusta el género.
I'm joined by Jay Bayless and Doris Karaskotza from Chucklefish.
LOL, pedazo nombre.
Thanks. Well, I want to say right away, the gameplay reminded me quite a bit of Fire Emblem and Advance Wars.
Yeah, Fire Emblem and Advance Wars are definitely kind of inspirations of ours, you know. War Groove is a turn-based tactical strategy game. It's a game about starting to build up your resources every mission and push forward into your enemy territory and just kind of dominate the map and make the right choices. But yeah, we've got a lot of unique kind of gameplay mechanics, and we're bringing it into the modern age. We've got online play, mod support, and kind of content creation as well.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we're going to get the chance to look at today. Doris, who's operating the PC right now, tell us what it is we're looking at.
So what we're looking at today is the world map of War Groove, and this is our campaign editor. So these are the tools we use in-house to create War Groove campaigns, and we're shipping them with the game so players can create their own scenarios. So I've been placing down map markers, and each of those represent a mission. And then you link them together to create the path through your campaign.
And I know that one of the things you wanted to talk
Está
about
creando
was
una
the
campaña.
branching path element.
Yeah, so you can have branching path, obviously. And the cool thing with that is every branch can have conditions. So for example, let's say you get a high score in a mission, and that could lead you through a harder path in your campaign.
Or you could have a secret path that triggers based on some event in the mission.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's hop into one of the missions and get that one started. And Jay, walk me through what it is that we're taking a look at.
So yeah, this is our map editor. This is like straight drawing tiles straight into the battle screen. You know, it's really simple to use, really understandable immediately. You can just kind of draw those tiles straight in there and drop in the full range of units. Doris is dropping in a commander right now.
What are the commander units about? Talk to me about that.
So the commanders are kind of integral to the strategy of War Groove. You have this unit that kind of represents like the king and queen in chess at the same time. They have unique abilities and act as your avatar in battle, and they're really powerful, so you can kind of push forward really heavily with them. But there's a lot of risk reward.
Está explicando cómo va el juego, por lo visto el comandante es el que hace todo.
Then you actually lose the game.
Oh, that's what you mean by the king comparison.
Absolutely,
it's both your power unit and the queen, but your loss condition is the king.
Yeah, and other tools include you can drop down buildings right now. We've dropped in some HQs. Those are kind of like your base of operations, and to take the opponent's HQ is to win the match.
Yeah.
But on top of like kind of simple and easy to use tools, we've also got more advanced tools. So you can use this zone tool right here, and you can highlight an area and assign like a scripted encounter or sequence to that.
Okay, so, you know, if I step into that forest, someone can pop out and attack me.
Eso último que ha hecho no me entero.
Jump out and attack you from the woods. And the really cool thing about that is that that actually ties back into the campaign map we saw earlier. So maybe that will trigger a condition. Maybe after encountering those bandits, your story takes a different turn and you decide to go into the forest to fight more of them, and so on.
Now, Doris, what is the process to go from this map to a playable game?
So it's very simple, like as simple as sharing the map, actually. So you can just share your map. And if you want more content, just go online and download map. And everything in just one click, basically.
And there it is. So let me actually take a step over to this timer here. It has been 3 minutes, and we have gotten the chance to design a campaign map, end a mission, and get it playable. That is incredibly fast. Jay, Doris, I want to thank you both so much for coming out to talk about this game today. Cheers, guys,
thanks
and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Ah, no, vamos a ver cómo se juega. Oh, vale. Pensaba yo que lo iban a jugar. Oh. Bueno. Joder, qué sueño me está entrando, macho.
The next game that we get the opportunity to talk about is the sequel to Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. It's Middle-earth Shadow of War that has
Mira, a ver qué tal.
officially announced release date, guys.
Que ayer se veían los trailers super épicos de este juego.
Talk to me about it is Michael DePlater, the Vice President of Creative at Monolith. What is up, Michael?
Hey, thank you very much. Thanks for the chair.
Hell yeah. Well, the chair is a nice break from all that grueling standing. Yeah. And it gives us to do one of the most iconic things in PC games.
A ver si se anima esto un poco, macho.
Thank you. Now, we've heard about the October 10th release date. What are some of the things that have been changing and building upon Shadow of Mordor in terms of Shadow of War?
I think what we've tried really hard to do, although it seems pretty obvious, is take the things that were good, that worked in the first game, so our combat and the Nemesis system and this world that we'd created, and to build on that, but also to take the lessons we learned in the first game and really improve those. So really make this into a truly epic fantasy.
Han cogido lo bueno del primero y le han añadido mejoras. Joder, es que lo del ejército que se veía ayer, tú, molaba mucho. A mí me gusta mucho. Se mantiene el sistema este de frenesí que tanto le mola a la gente.
It means paying off the epic scale, so having these titanic full-scale battles. It means the stakes of the story, so we're facing the most iconic and powerful villains, you know, Sauron and the Witch King and the Nazgul. And it means having these incredibly memorable and personal characters, so allies and enemies that you're working with.
And in terms of E3, what are the types of things that you're showcasing here that people can see?
Oh, the reason we're really excited for E3 is two things. People being able to get their hands on the game and play it. And also that we're going to be giving demos of the game, but because of the Nemesis system, every single demo we give, we have no idea what's going to happen.
That's awesome.
We don't know which orcs or which characters are going to turn up, which stories are going to happen.
Mira, van a estar enseñando cosas del juego.
They're going to see something new, and so are we.
Van a hacer un directo.
And because of that, we really wanted to share that not just at E3, but for anyone who wants to tune in and watch those demos as well.
Yeah, and of course you see all the information for how to watch those online.
Dios mío, no puedo parar de abrir la boca. También os digo que hoy al final con la tontería he dormido 2 horas. Dios mío, si estoy así cuando lleguen las 3 de la mañana que empieza la de Sony, yo no sé cómo voy a estar. Y eso que tengo el café aquí, pero vamos.
Into the world and into our story, Altariel. She's the Blade of Galadriel. So she's essentially an assassin that's been sent to Mordor to hunt down the Nazgul and to hunt down anyone corrupted by a ring of power. And you, as Talion, are running around Mordor wielding a ring of power. So there's some interesting tension in that relationship with her. But she's this awesome character, and as well as that, she gets her own fully playable campaign in our first major story DLC as well, which is the Blade of Galadriel.
Well, before we hop into that, I just want to say, Michael, thanks so much for coming on to talk about Shadow of War. We talked about how important story
Pero
is
si no han
to
hablado
Shadow of
nada.
War, so let's take a little bit of a look at 2 minutes of the cinematic, Altariel meeting Talion.
2 minutos de cinemática.
So it is true.
You killed me.
And yet you live.
De gráficos no hemos dicho nada, pero va bastante bien, ¿eh?
What's that like? To die and live again? Do you feel pain? Do you suffer?
What of the city? Of the Palantir?
The Nazgul have taken both. They belong to the Dark Lord now.
Then I have failed.
What if you keep fighting?
Wields the light of Galadriel. We can recover the ring.
Your rings are the cause of all this, Elf Lord.
Y el fantasma este tiene pinta de ser un hijo puta que te cagas,
I see him.
Y encima puede verle, tan pillado.
Who are you?
I'm the Blade of Galadriel.
Since when does Galadriel work with assassins?
Great threats make for unlikely alliances. You know this better than most. Now tell me more about this ring.
We crafted it to defeat Sauron, but it was lost.
The Nazgul will be drawn to the power of the ring.
We cannot let it fall into Sauron's hands. The light of Galadriel, give it to us!
Stay your hand! My light will protect us, but it will not leave my side.
We must move quickly.
Try to keep up.
Shadow of War.
Oh, se corta justo cuando empiezan las hostias. Mola un montón lo que están enseñando de este juego. Bienvenido, amigo. Alguno casi se me queda sordo.
Is a creative director for Microsoft Studios, Adam Eisgreen. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. Love being here.
Now, Adam, I understand.
Y sí están hablando de un montón de juegos bastante rápido.
I am coming up on my 25th year making video games. So yes, you can actually make a career out of being in games. And you know, I got my start in the DOS days. Remember DOS?
Like, oh yeah, dude, I played Zork all day.
So I got my start in the DOS days doing role-playing games, D&D games. But I spent a heck of a lot of time making real-time strategy games. I was at Westwood Studios for years, working on the Command & Conquer series. Earth and Beyond, a whole bunch of great games there. Petroglyph, Universal War, Empire at War. So a lot of history on PC. And
roots. And I'm still not going to tell you what it is, but I know you're curious. So let's head right
Bienvenido, gente.
to this world exclusive trailer.
Anuncio, perfecto. Oh, pues no os he puesto ninguno. ¿Pongo algún anuncio? ¡Olala! ¡Olala! ¿Qué es esto? Es un remake, un remaster o algo, porque ponía un reboot. Pues mira, celebrando el 20 aniversario de no sé qué saga. De romanos tiene pinta, ¿no? Age of Empires. LOL, que me den un premio, tú. Age of Empires en 4K. Hostia, pues sí que se nota, sí. Tú, yo era bastante friki de pequeño de este juego. Y tenía un Age of Empires de Star Wars. Que molaba que te cagas también. Que he visto que la gente sigue jugando a esto y hace directos en Twitch y hay torneos y cosas de este juego todavía, tú. Más de 20 años de este juego. ¡Qué bueno! Esto es 2007, 2017. Bueno, este juego es del 97, yo creo, tú. Si es el 20 aniversario, dice. Yo jugaba al 2. Esto de Definitive Edition no sé cuál será. A ver, me voy a apuntar a la beta. A ver si este link funciona. Bienvenido tú también, amigo. No me va, tío.
Tell me about Age of Empires, man.
Man, you know, nobody has been able to play this game except if they found the CD-ROMs for the last 20 years.
And what's a CD-ROM?
I know, really. These day and age, like, who even has a drive? You know, and this has been such a labor of love for us at Microsoft and our development partner at Forgotten Empires to bring back Age of Empires in such a wonderful definitive edition so everyone can experience it.
No va.
I want to talk about all the stuff on the trailer start to finish. Talk to me about the graphics. Those sprites are gorgeous.
We have redone every single asset in the original Age of Empires. Every animation, every tile set, everything that made Age of Empires great.
El link del sorteo también funciona, pero hay que insistir. A ver.
And made even better and better.
Because I remember just watching the sprites move around in the original game. It was very blocky and stuttery.
16 facings now, so those fonts don't jitter. You know, a ton of work has gone into making the game and the presentation amazing.
What about audio?
Oh, yeah. So we've re-orchestrated and re-recorded the entire soundtrack to the game using an actual symphony this time. It sounds wonderful. The people at studios are constantly begging us to get the soundtrack already.
Now, I have to ask, there were some aspects to the gameplay back then that were a little janky. Have there been any
no está disponible la página.
Yes, so not only have we done things like improved Find Path, which is of course always a big thing in RTS games, We've gone in and actually modernized the UI. A lot of people forget that.
Pero tengo que poner mis datos. Esto no lo puedo enseñar.
So all of that stuff, attack move, all of those things that people have come to expect.
Control groups?
Yes, control groups.
1A.
Yep. So all of that stuff is all in the game now. So we've taken all of the learnings from the Age games that followed and brought it up to those standards.
And you know, speaking of modernization, I saw that it said Xbox Live Multiplayer, which, as you may or may not know, that is the online matchmaking service that Microsoft uses for PC games. I mean, how are you utilizing that?
Oh, well, we've completely redone how lobbies work and how games and matching works. You know, we have our friend system, of course, it's built into Xbox Live. So players should have a really amazing experience. We also have a web portal, so they can go and track progress and see their results against all the other players. So it should be a really wonderful experience to play.
And what about the beta that we saw at the end of that video?
Yes, so the game will be out later this year, but you can go right now to ageofempires.com and sign up for our multiplayer beta. You know, RTS games are really, you know, our multiplayer is so important. And we want to make sure that this definitive edition of Age is the absolute best we can make it.
Right.
So, you know, multiplayer, please come, sign, play with us, make the game great.
You asked me before we hopped on that you wanted to say one more special bit, a little bit of a tease. We understand that it's the 20th anniversary of Age of Empires. What is it you wanted to say?
So, yes, Age of Empires, the whole franchise will be it's hitting its 20 mark October of this year. You know, and this is the start, here at E3 with you, is the start of the celebration of 20 years of Age of Empires.
¿Qué está hablando el señor este?
And that party is going to roll. We're going to continue that. So you're going to hear from us again in Cologne, Germany at Gamescom in August. And we're going to be having a really wonderful Age of Empires event there and talking a whole bunch about, I think, stuff you're going to want to hear.
I think I'm going to want to hear it.
Yes.
You tease. Well, let me just say, Adam, thank you so much for coming out. Super excited about Age of Empires. And
claro, ahora se van a caer todos los links porque está todo el mundo entrando.
Announcements comes to an end. Before we depart, let's head back up to the mezzanine with Sonia for one last hello.
Thank you, Sean. I had an amazing time being a part of some awesome game reveals and kicking it with you guys today. If you want any more information on any of the games that you saw today, go to pcgamer.com. If you want to hang out with me and check me out on the internet at OMG It's Firefox, pretty much everywhere. I had a blast, and for one last time, back to you, Sean.
Thank you so much,
Creo que es la última vez que vemos a Sonia.
It was a blast. I hope you had a great time. Thank you all so much for coming out. All of you who braved LA traffic to be here in the morning. All of you who tuned in online. Thanks to our sponsors, Intel, Microsoft, Bohemia, Tripwire, Cygames, and Nexon for help making this event possible. It is an absolute pleasure to have your support. And I'd also like to give a shout out to all the developers and the publishers at their recent conferences that have been going on in the last week. We were super excited about the titles there and following them closely because we're gamers at heart. And we hope that you too enjoyed what we had to share with you today. And as crazy as it sounds, E3 starts tomorrow. So we hope that you get the chance to get your hands on some of the titles that were announced in the last week that you're pumped for. From all the folks at PC Gamer and from me, Day 9, have a wonderful day and go play some video games. We'll see you next year.
Venga, John, muchachos, nos vemos el año que viene. Que vaya bien. Al final no mentía Sonia, era culpa de los servers. Sí, siempre suele ser eso, pero bueno. Es más gracioso echarle la culpa a Sonia siempre. Pues se ha acabado, gente. Pues esto... A ver, os enseño el horario. ¿Qué hora es? Las 8:46 hora España. Esto sigue a las 10. Tenemos poco más de una hora para hacer tiempo para la siguiente conferencia. Esto, bueno, esto es un show que ahora se ponen aquí a hablar de cosas, pero lo que es la conferencia ya se ha acabado. Voy a resetear la emisión esta y vamos a jugar un algo. Me han dado ganas de jugar al PlayerUnknown's, que lo he estado viendo ahí, me han dado ganas. Así que podemos echar una, no sé, ahora vemos. Voy a resetear esto, ¿vale? Ahora nos vemos.
beat that. That is the peak pinnacle performance of what a developer wants to bring to E3.
Well, and there were only about 40,000 people watching on the Twitch channel last night when Devolver did have their conference. So if you're confused about what we're talking about, I would totally recommend you go back and watch the Twitch VODs because it's kind of going to be talked about, I think, going forward from E3.
What about you? What have you liked? What about today?
Today, well, you know what? We just saw the PC Gamer Conference, and it was hosted by Day9 and Firefox, two personalities that I love, and I thought they brought so much to the show. And one of the games that Sean showed, Ooblets, I think that got me really excited.
You know, it's funny. A lot of people probably want like high action games, but you and me were freaking out about Ooblets because I mean, I grew up with my GameCube playing Animal Crossing. Like that was my favorite game.
Well, and it looks like a kind of like a Pokemon, kind of like a Legends of Mana kind of.
And of course, Adventure Time, right? Like the aesthetics of it. It's cute,
the dancing.
It's adorable.
I was down for that.
There's a lot of good things going on. But guys, before we get into the game content here at the Twitch stage, we're going to talk to you a little bit about the Humble Bundle. For June 11th through the 18th, the Humble Bundle E3 digital ticket. It has over $370 in digital content, including Verdun, XCon, Enemy Unknown Complete Edition, and of course, a portion of these proceeds are going to be going to the ESA Foundation.
Yeah, it's really cool. Humble Bundle does a lot of these amazing promotions. You'll see some of the co-streamers streaming E3 have hashtag E3DT. They're participating in this digital ticket right now. So support your favorite streamer, grab yourself a Humble Bundle because this is all about the games. And Humble Bundle brings forward a lot of really cool games that I think people kind of maybe don't notice right away.
That's true. And if you're a streamer yourself, you can put that hashtag in your title and you will actually enable the buy button on your channel for that Humble Bundle. So, your streamer, put it on there, hashtag E3DT, everyone.